We're on the streets of Enniscorthy town today in County Wexford to raise the alarm about the crime of geoengineering. Okay, this lady's just passing by. You're asking me, am I getting much of a response? You sound like you've heard about this.
Yeah, I do try to keep up and follow what's going on. I follow people like David Icke, Alex Jones.
Lovely job.
The People's Voice, all that kind of thing, and it's very important, and I'm so glad to see that this is here going on.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the activism obviously.
Absolutely.
And not the spraying you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at massive spraying going on today. Well, there was a trail. Let's expand it out now.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them expand out so bloody quick. I mean, unless you're observing and you're aware of what's going on, you would think it's a natural cloud.
Absolutely, you wouldn't know unless you know what to look for, and it is. It's so ordinary to see now. I think that's partly the problem as well. It's such an ordinary thing to see in the sky. People just accept it as normal.
Exactly.
And it is not.
Yeah.
It is not normal.
And this is what NASA are attempting to do now by introducing this cloud chart with 36 clouds on it.
Yeah.
They're trying to normalise this program and all the effects of it.
Well, it follows on to so many different things. All these unnatural, unhealthy things just being normalised.
Yes.
It's just becoming so indoctrinated into our everyday lives.
They're trying to brainwash the kids into believing that these clouds are actually bloody real.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So look, I'm going to give you a DVD and a few flyers. Do you live around here?
I do. I live in the town. Yeah.
Well, look, we do street action days in most southeast towns, and we're going to be doing them all summer. If you want to come along any day, give us a shout, man. Wexford Skywatch is our Facebook page. More the merrier. We need an army. We need an army of info warriors on the streets with us doing this, because the more of us that are on the streets, the bigger the message it is, and the more credibility we gain. You know.
Absolutely.
Okay, look, I'm going to give you a DVD. Thank you very much for talking. Lovely. Okay, I'm talking to a lady here. She doesn't want to go on camera, but you have noticed the trails in the sky.
Yes. Every time a plane passes by, the trail keeps going.
Okay.
Longer.
Yes. Okay. Right. Well, look I've just given you a copy of Why in the World Are They Spraying. That film explains what these trails are doing in the sky and who's behind it and what agenda it's serving. Okay. Okay. Talking to this lady here. You have noticed the skies. You look up.
I have indeed, yes, certainly. Yeah. And they're like long, fluffy white lines in the sky.
Exactly.
And they actually look like trails left by the aeroplanes.
Yeah.
But there's more and more of them.
Yes. Well, they are actually trails left by planes, but you see, they shouldn't stay up there all day.
Fair enough.
Do you know?
But they
years
do.
ago, look I'll just show you. Yeah. Look, that's the way a natural sky used to look like, all right? Even if the plane's in the sky, the plane would go by and the trail would disappear in a few seconds. That's what we're seeing nowadays on pretty much a daily basis. That's if you can see the sky.
Yeah.
There's a program going on called Solar Radiation Management, and it's a deliberate program which governments all around are involved in, and they're putting artificial cloud up into the atmosphere to stop sunlight from getting through. Basically, they say.
Why are they doing this?
Well, the reason is that they want to protect us from global warming. This is their cover story. Right now,
it doesn't seem feasible now.
No,
really,
no. Well, if you think about it, if you shroud something, the planet with chemicals, it's going to warm it up. If anything,
of course it would.
Do you know what I mean? It'd be like putting a lagging jacket on an immersion tank.
Why not let just nature do its thing?
Exactly. But these people interfering with nature, and they're playing God with our weather, and people need to know this. And we're just here on the streets just to raise awareness and to let people know that this is going on. And so many people know what's going on. And I will say to the Irish government, people are not stupid. People are not stupid. They know what. A lot of people are waking up to this and they're looking up. And more people are going to be making phone calls like I've been doing and ringing the EPA. And also, I'd say to the government, start coming clean about this and start telling people what's going on, because people are finding out either way from people like me on the streets.
Fair enough. So who do I ring about it? Do I,
Okay, well look, you can ring the EPA, see what they'll say to you. I'll tell you what, I'll post you this video and you won't have to write anything down. I'll post you this video.
Okay.
Ring the EPA, they'll handball you to the Department of Environment. The Department of Environment will send you to the Civil Aviation Authority. Civil Aviation Authority will say it's an issue for the Ministry of Defence, or the Department of Defence. Yeah, exactly. That's all you get. But it's just indicative then that they're involved in a cover-up. If they can't just come up with a straight answer or tell you that they're going to take responsibility for this or investigate it, they're not going to say. They don't say anything like that when you ring. They'll just put you onto another agency and hope then that you'll be running around in circles to the extent you'll just give up. You'll give up, and that's what this government has always done to people. They just break your will. You get no answers, and all you get is lies. And I'm sick of it. And people in this country are sick of all the lies. And this here is worse than anything that's ever taken place. It's worse than any corruption or any fluoridation or adulteration of the water. This is the air we breathe. It's the water that comes down on us, the rain. Everything has been poisoned by this.
Could it be the reason why cancer is on the increase?
Look at the stuff that they're spraying. It's all carcinogenic materials. There's hundreds of materials that they have listed out in patents that's fallen down on us. Autism and Alzheimer's off the charts, right? Alzheimer's is an overaccumulation of aluminium in the brain cells, and that's what they're spraying. They're spraying at least 200 million tons of this stuff every year on us. This is not my opinion. This is all documented fact, and people need to understand this. And I phoned up the Alzheimer's Society as well, and I said to them, do you know about this program going on where they're spraying these toxins and this aluminium into the environment deliberately via airplanes? And they said, no, nothing about it. And I said, do you realise that aluminium causes Alzheimer's? And they didn't even know that. They're compartmentalised to just not know anything about the reality of Alzheimer's. It's absolutely amazing. Alzheimer's is caused by aluminium. Wow. It's crazy, and that's what they're spraying. You can go out on any night after a heavy spray day. When you see lines like that in the sky on any given day, most days you'll see them. Go out at night on a still night and shine a torch in the sky, and you'll see these particulates falling down. They're trillions, right? But look into it yourself and don't believe a word I say. And I'm going to give you, that's why in the world that is spraying, I'm going to give you a copy of what in the world that is spraying as well.
Right.
Actually, do you know what?
So what we saying about autism anyway, about in the family?
There's two children in the family that have it now. We were trying to trace it back to see if anyone else in the past had it, and they hadn't.
Okay.
So what you're just explaining to me there seems to be.
But you know what to do? If you want to get these toxins out of their body, you can actually help them recover. I'm not saying that they're going to recover full whack, but you can actually help them, make it easier for them. So check it out, because aluminium is linked to autism. So that's what we're on about.
It's one of the main ingredients they're spraying. They have it in patents. I got a patent there that I can show you. They're talking about releasing tons of this stuff every year.
To the air?
Yeah.
There's tons and tons.
Not a word to the general public about it. They're just going ahead with it regardless, and they haven't carried out any toxicological effect studies or anything like that.
Just throwing it out there.
Just throwing it out, just dumping it on us. And only an uninformed population can allow this go. It can only go on if the population is uninformed. That's why we're in the streets. People need to know about this and understand what's going on really quickly, because this program has been escalated. There's just so much stuff being sprayed. You might be asking, you were saying she has autism. Is that what you said? Do you mind the camera going on?
No, don't put her
No,
on.
okay, no problem. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay, look, thanks a million for talking to the camera.
No problem at all.
But man, no, he's just saying his daughter has autism there, so just please look into it.
Yeah, you check that out, man.
Thank you. Massive trail. Look at the state of it. Expanding out as we're speaking. Little wasp there. Our little busy friends, the bees, will not be around for much longer if this program continues, folks. Another one there, look at. Unbelievable the amount of people that are waking up to geoengineering, chemtrailing. Spoke to so many people today. We've only been here about an hour and a half now. We've spoke to so many people that know about this program. People that didn't want to go on camera, but they're looking up in the skies every day. They don't know what they didn't know exactly the specifics. So we've given them what in the world and why in the world are they spraying, copies of that, so they can go home and look for themselves. Okay, people are waking up. Talking to these girls here, James is just talking to them. Have you heard about geoengineering before, ladies?
No.
Alright, James is explaining to you all the specifics there.
And they're well on board.
You have a copy of In the World That Is Spraying. We're running short now, so we're only going to give you one between you. Yeah. Please look into it. Look at trails like this never existed in the past, okay? This is what skies should look like, regardless of whether there's planes going over. Okay, vapor just dissipates in a couple of seconds. Okay, look at, we've got all this stuff up here today. It's all chemicals. It's all lingering around up there, and what goes up must come down. We're breathing this stuff in, right? Don't believe a word I'm saying. Please look into this yourself, because all life on Earth is under direct attack from this. All sources for life that exist, sunlight, water, oxygen and carbon dioxide, are under direct assault by this program. Unbelievable. But please look into it, and we're not here to frighten you. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. We all need to understand this is going on, because we can stop it then. But it's more terrifying not to know about it, So look into it, ladies. Thank you.
Nice
Brilliant. Thank you. Right, here's a patent going back to 1917, and it's a process and apparatus for the production of intense artificial clouds, fogs or mists. Now, the average person nowadays tell them that they're creating artificial clouds, they think you're crazy. But this is an old science. It's nearly 100 years old. Look at this. And again, these are all up online. This is a patent with a patent number and all there. They're all up on the UK Skywatch. Sorry?
Going on your Facebook page.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
lead me to the
And I'll just show you one more other This is a document called the Solar Radiation Management Government Initiative, where the British government talk about injecting sulphurs into the atmosphere to create artificial cloud in order to reflect the sun back out to space.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. They tell us it's to protect us from global warming, as I say. That's their cover story. Look, if you go down through this, the contents of this here. Aims and scope of solar radiation management. Introduction. Hang on there now. Just wait, see. Let's see, at page 7, where's it now? Right, look at here's the example they use, right? Stratospheric aerosols. Large volcanic eruptions release millions of tons of sulfur dioxide into the Earth's atmosphere, which react to form tiny particulates in the form of sulfates. These aerosols then circulate the planet on the stratospheric winds and block out a small amount of inbound sunlight. This phenomenon temporarily cools the Earth, sometimes detectably for a year or so. Now, the artificial injection of aerosols to mimic this natural phenomenon could also produce a cooling effect. So they're talking here about, like, you know, that they could do the same to cool the planet. Now, this whole global warming is an absolute fraud. It's the greatest scientific fraud of our time. Back in 2009, the climate scientists at the Met Centre in England were caught fiddling the data to suit their climate model, their fraudulent climate model, and it showed that the temperatures were actually lower, falling, not rising. The Earth is not warming, and it's all, but this all this climate chaos we're seeing now. You know, all these weather events, all the floods all around Ireland and England, all bloody orchestrated. It's crazy because they orchestrate it. They create the problem. They can pose the saviours with the solution then in the form of seeds that can grow into these adverse conditions, swamp resistant, flood resistant, and also. Look, there's a massive programme to get people out of the country and into the cities and all as well. It's called Agenda 21, and people need to get on board this and understand what's going on. But look, don't believe a word I say. It's all on the internet. Look, and I won't bore you anymore now with the details, but it's just there's so much. It's a massive subject, and we all need to look into it in our own time.
I can go on that website.
UK-skywatch.co.uk.
And I can go on
it's
the
all
Facebook
there.
one.
Yeah, go on to there, and the video from today will be up there tomorrow. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Lovely.
I'm interested in knowing about this one because these have been around lately.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's all about.
May the 15th, they were covering the skies of Ireland. And not many people had seen them before because they didn't exist really before. There's a couple of days in the last few years I've seen them, but it's a very rare occasion where you see. But they're basically lenticular clouds. It doesn't say lenticular here, but it's another name on them. And just like all of these clouds here, these cloud types never existed in the past until this program of geoengineering started in the mid-90s. Now, what geoengineering is do you see? Look see the way the plane is spraying these trails. Yeah. We got a trail up here, right there.
Right.
See there?
Yeah.
A plane went over about a half an hour ago and left that behind. Now that's expanding out, and it's going to linger there, right, for hours, if not all day. Now, years ago, I'll show you. Now, that's a normal sky.
Yeah.
Even if a plane was going over years ago, you know, in the 1970s or the 1980s or even the early 1990s, it wouldn't matter. A plane would go by and it'd leave a little quick trail. It'd be gone in a few seconds. Now that's what we see. That's a regular sight now most days in Ireland and all around the world. There's a program in place called Geoengineering, and it's a program to modify the weather and to take control of the world's food production and to control human populations, basically. If you control the weather, you control the world. 80% of the world's economy is weather sensitive, so it's the most powerful capability on the planet to control the weather. And it's going on right above our heads now. We got little faint little start points and all here. Yeah. They got spray jets on these planes, and they can turn on and off these jets as at times that they're choosing. Now, apparently the pilots don't even know about this program. They're not involved in it. Apparently, the spray jets are remote controlled via satellite. But there's so much stuff going on up there. People need to know about this. Look at all this. None of these clouds existed in the past, but all of a sudden they do. So where have they come from, you know? Yeah. NASA have brought this cloud chart out to normalise all of these anomalous creations which are caused by this program. You know, when I was going to school there was only 10 cloud types, and now you've got these. Insane. This should have alarm bells ringing, you know, for most people, like where the hell have all these clouds come from, you know? But please look into it. Don't believe a word I say. I'm going to give you a copy of Why in the World Are They Spraying. the second professionally produced film to document geoengineering / chemtrail. And please look at it and research the facts and tell your friends and your family about it.
I will do.
Because this is real.
I made contact over those. I had friends that we rang each other because we.
Okay. Well, you'll be able to explain to them how they were created now. Okay.
Okay.
There's much more things going on than just the spraying. There's hardware called HARP. They're ionospheric heating systems, and they're like ESP power stations, and they shoot RF energy up into the atmosphere, and they can heat the atmosphere. And by heating this, they can raise and lower the ionosphere. And when they do this, they can redirect jet streams. They can steer weather systems. They can even cause earthquakes with this stuff. Massive, godlike weaponry. But all this, it all exists. It's been around for a long time, and that's what we're on the streets here trying to raise the alarm about. So look into it yourself, and don't believe a word I say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely job.
Bye.
Okay, sitting here just chatting to these two guys here. Kev here has noticed the chemtrails. Well, you've heard about him before.
Yeah, I heard about him. Was in California.
Yeah. And you've seen them in the sky as well, apart from here.
Right today.
Heard about
They're
them.
right there today.
Yeah, look, we're being sprayed out of it there. Look at the big trail along there. Okay, but Kev, you called your friend Jay here along.
That's me, yeah.
Had you heard about these before, Jay?
I've heard about them, yeah.
And sorry, why did you call Kev, Jay, Kev?
Because we only spoke about it recently.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so that's.
Them in the sky recently, alright, yeah.
Yeah, and have you noticed the skies lately yourself, Jay?
Well, I've not much around Wexford, but I've noticed them in other places.
Yeah. Well, Wexford is one of the busiest air lanes. Well, it's the busiest air lane in Ireland. We're under here, so we'll see more trails here than anywhere. Now today they're spraying like bloody mad. Even the planes that aren't leaving a persistent trail, they're all injecting aluminium oxide into the atmosphere. And if you look into the atmosphere there now, it's just an opaque, whitey blue. There's nothing natural about that. There's no natural cloud definition up there whatsoever. And basically the aluminium oxide turns the atmosphere into like a giant plasma. And it's basically like, an artist would need canvas to work on. These weather manipulators need an aluminium oxide plasma to make other chemical interactions possible. So they can create winds, they can create rain, they can create so many different things using weather modification techniques. All of these.
Aluminium also affects the pineal gland.
Exactly, that's
one
right.
Of the reasons that it's in the area?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, you see, aluminium is causing the Alzheimer's, Alzheimer's, autism, so many things. But also, I've never heard of it affecting the pineal gland. I know fluoride definitely just absolutely calcifies the pineal gland.
What fluoride does is it attracts. Once it's in the pineal gland, it attracts all the metals to go.
You're dead right.
Brain.
I'll tell you, man. Exactly, you hit the nail on the head. Oh man, I just love talking to people that know about this stuff because it's so bloody crucial to know all this stuff. Because the fluoride, what it does, apart from hundreds of bloody devastating health effects on human and animal life, it as you said, it calcifies the pineal gland, which blocks your access to spiritual experiences and all this. But the aluminium oxide, or the fluoride, sorry, I'm racing ahead here, the fluoride weakens the blood-brain barrier. And blood-brain barrier is weakened, all of these toxins that they're spraying down are going to be able to get into the brain much easier than if the blood-brain barrier was strong and putting up a good defence, you know. So it's crazy, very scientific. No, it's not all haphazard or anything like that. Very scientifically planned out program, coordinated program.
Are they putting in this stuff in the commercial jet fuel?
Yes, commercial jets. I film them every day. I've been filming them now for close on 3 years. Yeah. And you get commercial airliners, Aer Lingus, Ryanair, Lufthansa, British Airways, Air France, the whole lot of them, American Airlines. They're all involved in it. All of these. I see all of these planes coming into Irish aerospace. They mightn't be leaving anything behind them, and all of a sudden you'll see a big spray being turned on. It's crazy what's going on now. Military jets are also involved in this, and there's also specifically designated fleets that are just designated geoengineered spray planes.
Right, tell me this, where's the military? We don't have any military jets, so where are they coming from?
Okay, well, Milden Hall Air Base in England is one of the main geoengineering fleets, where one of the biggest fleets is.
Really?
We're actually going there in the summer. A crowd of us are going there and doing a tour there, and we're going to ask the employees a few questions, basically. But they're coming out of all sorts of all bases, aerodromes all around the place. Now, I don't see much military planes spraying in Irish skies. It's mainly passenger jets, is what I've been observing. But that's not to say that the military aren't up there with unmarked jets. They don't have to have their transponders on, you know.
Yeah, who's behind all this?
The Royal Society in England are the ones that write all the reports on how they intend to reflect the sun back out to space with all this stuff. protect us from global warming. That's their cover story. But you got the US military writing documents like any documents from Aurora Flight Sciences. They've been writing documents like that for like 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years. I can show you patents. I'll show you in a minute off camera because I've already filmed me showing another girl the patents. But I'll show you patents in a minute where they talk about how they can create artificial clouds, artificial cloud, cumulus clouds by injecting sulphurs into the atmosphere.
With HARP, isn't it?
HARP as well, exactly. Yeah.
They've got one in Europe, and the Russians have one as well, I think.
Yeah.
And they have admitted that it can manipulate the weather.
Yeah.
But they said they'll never use it for that.
Exactly. They say it's only there for atmospheric research, and to protect us all. You know, in the event of a war, they can have horizon radar capabilities now. But that's bullshit because look, we can see the effects of HARP in the sky every day.
What they call it, the earthquake went off in Haiti.
Yeah.
3 days before that, the Americans were in the area, and they were doing a drill of what would happen if a hurricane hits Haiti. And then I think when asked about they were asked for the HARP reports, they said that all the tapes have been wiped because they're wiped like on a 24-hour basis. So they didn't like there is no proof to say that they've done anything, but they did not come out and prove that they didn't either.
Exactly. Well, look, there was HARP signature patterns in the sky visible days before. You had the yellow electromagnetic colours and all, and blue and yellow and all colours that are up there from the HARP activity. All of the telltale signs were there to suggest that HARP was involved. And then you had military presence there straight away as well. What the bloody hell do you want military occupation for? There was martial law on the streets. What the bloody hell, man? Just like in all of the, you know, Hurricane, another orchestrated HARP controlled, HARP created disaster. You know, military presence, gun confiscations in Louisiana and in New Orleans and all. You know, crazy. But
it just has an effect on animals as well. It has an effect on animals as well, you know.
Yeah.
He's an animal rights campaigner as well.
Exactly, man.
He's well up on it. He's got his own Facebook page.
Well, I tell you, lads, it's just the animals, man, that I have more concern for because, look, I'm warning humans. They know what to do. I warn them, and they can ignore the warnings. But the poor dogs, the poor birds in the sky, they don't know what we're talking about. Now, whether they know what's going on or not, I don't know. I'm sure their senses are telling them that there's something wrong. Something is awry in the sky. They know it, I'm sure.
Just recently,
but what can they do, you know?
That volcano in Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah.
All the animals have started leaving.
Exactly, a couple of hours or a day before it, exactly.
Because they know
great senses, man.
It does. Yeah. America is going to be wiped out.
Exactly, I know, that's the big one, man. But you know what, lads, like we the human species are the only species on this planet that can stop this insanity. So that's why it's so important for people to get educated like the two of you guys, man, and people to just come familiar with this information and stop ignoring it and calling it a conspiracy theory, because there's no conspiracy theories going on here. This is conspiracy fact, well documented, very documented, going back further than 100 years, weather control and tectonic and atmospheric manipulation with ionospheric heating systems and all. It's all old science. Average person there hasn't got a clue about it nowadays because they're looking at X Factor and brainwashed to bloody believe that this stuff can never happen. Meanwhile, these bloody maniac globalists are space travelling and bloody colonising other planets for all we know, and they're underground cities bigger than any overground cities, and people think it's a conspiracy theory that they can manipulate the weather. Of course they can manipulate the bloody weather, man. Do you know, it's crazy. Look at lads, we could talk to you all day. Talking to you, we're going to give you the DVD and a flyer, and I'm going to show you some patents.
Spreading the word.
Lovely job, man. Well, look, we're on the streets
spread the word.
Every now and lovely. We're on the streets every now and every few weeks, every couple of weeks, and we could always do a help. If we're back in Enniscorthy again, we'll let you know. Get in touch with us through Wexford Skywatch. If you want to get involved with us, just let us know. And we're around the streets every couple of weeks. Wexford Skywatch. We're on the flyer there. Where it's not a website, it's just a Facebook page. But for all the information, you want to go to uk-skywatch.co.uk. That's a one-stop shop for all of the patents and all the geoengineering government white papers and all that stuff. Right, lads, thanks a million. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you. You too, brother. Lovely job. Thank you.
Thank you.
See that shadow being cast down, projected down here? That's all the aluminium oxide that's been pumped into the atmosphere all day. Look at it. Amazing. We don't get deep blue skies anymore like we used to in the past. Even on days when leaving expanding, persistent trails. They're still spraying. You can look up and you'll see a pale, opaque blue sky. It's not real blue.
Thanks.
All right, I was talking to a girl there that wouldn't go on camera, but Annette here has heard about chemtrails. You were actually explaining to her that you've heard about these things.
Yeah, I'm aware of the chemtrails and they're spraying out of the airplanes.
Yes. Okay, do you see this
Absolutely,
much?
the whole time.
Okay. And you're from Wexford as well, Enniscorthy?
Enniscorthy area.
Rightio. Now you're running for local elections. Now I can't vote for you here, but if I was to get relatives of mine to vote for you and we got you voted in, would you be willing to bring this subject up in Parliament, in the Dáil?
And Independence for Equality, and there's candidates standing in the 4 districts.
Okay, and Mick Wallace will be as well?
We're under Mick's umbrella.
Right, well Mick has great clout around this place, and Mick, look up as well. We all need to know what's going on. We all need to start speaking out about this. Okay?
Thank you very much,
I'll
Terry.
get you voted in.
Thank you, Terry.
I tell you now, I'll get your votes, and please bring it up. I'll be in touch with you. I'm friends with you on Facebook. I'll talk to you again.
Absolutely, Terry.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now, take care. Your voice is getting sore from talking.
Getting sore already,
We're having a
man.
great day here today, folks. There's so many people who are interested in this.
I don't know how you keep talking all day. This is tough work.
Yeah, what percentage of people would you say knows about this?
Very little, man. I'd say it's probably 30%.
Yeah, okay, that's not very little. That's huge.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, so many people.
And I would say there's another 30 or 40 or 50% people interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is just really positive, man. I tell you.
That's
we
good.
just gotta keep at this, keep grinding away at this, man, because you know, as insane as this is, the magnitude of this program is hard to fathom.
Absolutely.
But as insane as it is, you know, people do know there is something up with it, and they know the governments are corrupt, and they're open to this information. So many people are, man. So.
Yeah, we're what I've been saying to the people here today, right, as well, is because we're coming up onto local elections.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to these people is, like, when these people call to your door, doesn't matter what kind of fucking party there is, ask them what their stance is on geoengineering.
Exactly.
And if they say they don't know about it, says, well, if you want my vote, you go off and find about it.
Just talk to a girl that's running for elections there, just
go.
like last week as well.
So you can force them to look into it. If you say to them, if you want my vote, go out and look for it.
Exactly.
Go and check it out, maybe you'll get my vote.
Don't want to vote anybody unless they're talking about geoengineering, chemtrail, folks. Biggest crime of our time, greatest issue affecting not only humanity but all life on this planet. End of story. Biggest. Another lady here remembers these clouds a couple of weeks ago. You hadn't seen these before? Okay. Do you mind the camera going on you? Oh no, you don't want it. Okay. You said you work for NASA.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, you were only joking. Okay. Okay. Look, I've given you a copy of What in the World Are They Spraying. Okay. Please look at it. It explains all this, what's going on, and who's behind it. We need to know about this. This affects all life on the planet. Thank you. Bye. Right, just talking to these two ladies here, asking them, have they noticed the skies lately? I've given them a copy of Why in the World Are They Spraying each, and this lady here has said that you noticed the skies the other day in Rosslare.
Yes, yesterday in Rosslare, very clear sky.
Yeah.
And then this jet just came over, and it just actually, I noticed it because it went up and over, it took over the whole sky.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
no.
and it just, you know, and I'd be in Dublin a lot, and I live near. I don't live. My daughter lives near the airport.
Yeah.
And you can see all these crisscrossing and
okay.
the sky a lot.
So this has caught your eye, obviously.
Yes.
So have you thought anything about it? Did you just think it? Have you thought maybe is this a pollution problem we have here, or what?
Well, I mean, like it seems to be more common and seems to be bigger. The emission from the plane seems to be a lot wider and longer.
Exactly.
You
just
know?
As I was showing you, can I have that for a second?
Yeah.
As I was showing you here, on the left, that's a natural sky with cumulus clouds. On the right there, we have jet trails.
Yes.
Now, in the past, these trails did not exist. How we know this is, well, not apart from our own memories. I never remember seeing skies like that in the past.
No.
But how you will know that trails never lingered like that in the past is you can look at your old photo albums.
Yes.
You will not, before the mid-1990s, you will not see a sky with trails in it.
Yeah.
All right? Yeah. But basically what I've been saying to these ladies is that it's not just regular pollution we're talking about here. This is a deliberate program where there's chemicals being added introduced into the clouds via airplanes, different delivery systems. They've got spray jets on the wings. They've also got mixers in the engines where they're mixing these particulates in with the fuel. So it's a massive program basically to modify the weather, and people need to know about this. This is why we're on the streets telling, alerting the public, is because people need to know about this. These corporations that are heavily invested in this program have not got consent from the people to do this. Governments are involved in this. Governments have not asked the people, is this okay? You know, nobody. There's a media blackout about this, you know. So we all need to start looking up and researching the verifiable facts, you know, and because, you know, we literally are being sprayed every day. There's look, here's a trail here now. See along here?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, apart from that trail, we've got all sorts of funny, wispy looking clouds up there as well. Now, down below, it's arguable they could be natural cumulus clouds, but that is a trail up above that, all right? And you got all sorts of chemical wispy stuff from earlier this morning spraying as well. I've been observing the skies from early morning, and they've been spraying like mad, and you know, we could be wiped out later on by artificial cloud cover, you know, and people will be saying, oh geez, that was a lovely day, wasn't it? And now all of a sudden the day is gone. You know, and if people only knew what's going on, they'd realise then that, hey, this lovely summer's day was destroyed because of that. Exactly. And I've right, man, you know, but I've seen you looking at the cloud charts and all here.
Oh, yeah.
You say you're familiar with my work on Facebook. You've heard about chemtrails and all that?
We're very familiar with the chemtrails. Geoengineering.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot going on, it's proven. You can see that there's a very good German website about it as well, where they admitted it.
Yeah.
You know, we know what's happening.
Yeah.
We've seen pictures inside tankers and everything.
Exactly. You said it, man. There's no one denying it now. The evidence is just overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Good man. Thank you very much. I'm going to give you a couple of flyers. Give them out to a few people, will you?
All right, no problem.
Thanks a million.
Cheers, bye now.
Gentlemen. Well, that's it now. End of another brilliant day here. Empty bag of WMDs here. We've unleashed a massive amount of info artillery today. 500 flyers and 75 copies of why and what in the world are they spraying. So more nails in the New World Order coffin. Ha ha!
Wake up in the morning and I take a look outside. The sky's like a night so bored. I'm sad, I'm not laughing. I'm sick and I'm hopping mad. I'm screaming from the rooftop. Mayday is what it all comes down to. That every little thing's been sprayed. And I've got one hand in my pocket and the other one is pointing at a chemtrail. I go out as I'm walking, the sun's being blocked out, the birds have all stopped tweeting, and then it's come upon me as particles falling down.